Feed me.
Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me more. The Ryback Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show. I am your host, the big guy Ryback. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Good to see you guys here. All the platforms. And we're at Instagram live streaming over here. We will be adding TikTok back in. I actually got a new iPhone 14 coming in, and I'll be keeping my iPhone 11. So I'll have multiple devices to stream on even more platforms, because we got a lot of listens before on TikTok live on that. So the starting probably Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be back on TikTok, and just for only portions of the show. I can't keep everything on there. Obviously with TikTok, they are very difficult to work with on anything as far as the content and like the cussing and things. So I'll keep a portion of the show, and then when things, if things are about to, we've got to crank it up. If I'm going to cut a promo, we're gonna shut the TikTok off and advise people to come to the other platforms. So, but all this right here, we're all safe. Twitter Spaces, guys, good to see all of you. Thank you to everybody on Twitter that subscribes to my account. I do follow all subscribers back. Not necessary though to be a part of this show. The ebb and flow of the show goes where your questions goes, guys. You are the co-host of this show, the People's Podcast, health, fitness, supplementation, pro wrestling, sports, and anything and everything in between. Super chats over here on RYBACK30 on YouTube are greatly appreciated and brought up in between taking calls on Twitter Spaces. On that, guys, we are streaming on Facebook at Ryback Reeves and Twitch at Ryback Rules. This show is available on all podcast platforms. iTunes reviews are greatly appreciated. Thank you to the several people who have left new reviews here recently. Thank you very much. If you guys are a longtime listener or a new listener and you've not yet left a review on iTunes and you do have an iPhone, please, if you can go over there, I always post the links. It does take only a moment to go there, leave a star rating. And if you would like to write a review, it really helps, especially the more new reviews we have, which we're starting to get. It helps move the show with new listeners or potential new listeners with everything. And I am hoping with everything because of the total listens, like I've told you guys, and this isn't exaggerating at all. This is one of the top rated pro wrestling and health and fitness shows in the world overall views and listens with it. Then we're moving up the audio ranks. We've been bumping around the 50s, 60s, and 70s. That's just the audio that comes out after it's released live on the 5 platforms already. So I can't stress that enough, because some people only go by that audio. But what my goal is I am hoping, as we continue to keep doing this, and is getting a big time deal like a Sirius or somebody, bringing this show big time with all of this, because we have more than enough listens to warrant it with everything. It's just a matter of not everybody knows the amount of listens on all the other platforms, where we're getting thousands on each individual platform on the majority of them there, guys, even on the suppressed accounts with it. So thank you all. We are going to continue to keep moving forward, and your love and support is greatly appreciated on those reviews. This show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line, sweetened with stevia and monk fruit, no harmful artificial sweeteners or colors, for all people, men and women, he, she, and thee, on feedmemore.com. New customers can save 30%, discount code RYBACK30, RYBACK30. Returning customers can save 20%, discount code FEEDME20. And all customers get a free Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle with your orders, guys. We've got all the Ryback merch, the ball caps, the drink accessories, the workout accessories, and the best supplements on the planet. Brain Feed is hopefully going to be in stock in the next 2 to 3 weeks tops with all of that, waiting just to get the clearance from the manufacturer on that being finalized and shipped out. And the Brain Feed, our last one that was out of stock, will be back in stock here on feedmemore.com. Drinking my finish at BCAA'S, just took the dogs for a long walk, got all my morning work done. A lot going on. I've got to take some more calls with everything going on the situation, which that is all under pending investigation, just so everybody's aware. And they are. It is essentially we just are waiting for the final the Twitter files essentially are the missing piece that they are getting. That it's taken a lot. There is there's more accounts at play than even were let on. So, but this is the investigation is ongoing. They're tracking him, and he's continuing to harass on multiple accounts. He's continuing to pretend to be two different females that we know of on Twitter. I advise everyone just to block, let it go. Let's just keep doing our thing. It is going to be taken care of. It is being taken care of. Also, as far as the other place, the with Raj Giri, who used to do the Shooting Blanks wrestling show with me. With that, Raj even put out a thing yesterday to the other guy on the news thing. The guy on the news site, just so you know, has some sort of communication with the stalker, and it's very disturbing that he's willingly choosing to communicate with him. He's putting out what they're doing is they're putting out blatant lies, trying to get reactions on social media to get more clicks. My best advice to you guys is to block them. Don't view their content. You see what you're dealing with that guy, and I don't know if he's clearly got some sort of drinking, and I would imagine drug problem. There's something going on, but he's communicating with the other guy. I could tell you just flat out, they kept trying to push a lie on PPP loans with me. We already know the stalker has taken out a small PPP loan for like $2 to $3 grand, and years ago, with what for? Who knows? As far as we know, he's unemployed, not doing anything. I've not taken out a PPP loan, which even if I did, I have a business, and that would be completely fine and acceptable. What I have done, though, and I'm very honest and transparent, I've taken out hundreds of thousands of dollars of business loans that I have paid back, that I've been able to take and grow my business, that you have to have the sales to warrant they don't get approved. I've been approved at like the highest level. And the guy that turned me on to that was Damon John from Shark Tank, which we follow each other on Instagram. Okay. And he was the one that got me turned on very early on in my business on building business capital and business funding, so that I don't use my money that you use other people's money with it. And yeah, you pay back a certain percentage of fees over time and all that. But there's the fact that they're willingly putting out blatant lies, when in fact the opposite is true. But the fact that guy is supposed to be a wrestling site, which he never has been, with this, and you could see it, and it's very disturbing. But that's what Raj put out yesterday. He goes, "What the fuck are you doing with it?" And that is like, this guy he never had anything of substance to begin with this. We are dealing with just somebody, an obsessed mark who hates himself and hates wrestling and anyone who does it, because he could not do it with it. And so he has a very clear obsession with me with this. And I whatever, he has some sort of thing where it seems that he hates loves WWE and hates AEW or other people not in WWE with it. So you can see the last 7 years. And like I've said, I will let my attorney, and when the time is right, we will go ahead with all of this. I've got too much other stuff going on at the time being. Everything is getting screenshot and saved, but like, these are blatant lies that they're putting out. That one doesn't even have anything to do with wrestling to begin with on that. And then in the fact the opposite is true, is like, no, the guy that you're actually communicating with, the mentally ill stalker that you're choosing to communicate with while he's under investigation for 12 years of harassing and stalking and multiple death threats to me, my family, and friends. This other mentally disturbed fucking twat is communicating with him, taking information from this guy like it's actually factual, then deleting them later when he probably sobers up or comes off his high or whatever fucking dope he's fucking doing for the day with this. So but they're trying to get the reactions on Twitter and whatnot to get more clicks. I would suspect he's not doing well if this is his strategy with everything. And best thing you can do, block, move forward, just live life. Don't read their content, because that is the guy. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand and paint this picture very clear. These are the people that are creating all the hate in the world with this, and turning other people with their lies and their manipulation through their fucked up minds. It's very evident. You guys could see this now firsthand. I don't care what you think about me. He's posting blatant lies, and he's been posting blatant lies for 7 years. And what they'll do, even if they post something that is partially factual, or if they will take it and turn it and make it the most negative, hateful thing possible to try to elicit a negative reaction out of you, because they don't care about you. They just want your reaction. And they know if they can get a negative reaction, that is stronger, and that people are more likely when they get upset or read something that elicits a negative emotion, you are more likely to then engage with their content. Do you really want to be following and engaging in something like that doesn't care about you, when they're taking stuff to manipulate you? And this is why people like me, we have to fight this. I've lived it. I've survived all of it. They ain't stopping me. I'm just getting bigger and bigger with everything. So, but it's best not to view that kind of content. You want to read wrestling news and things, follow a site that at least has some dignity, that more often than not, that reports on factual things or good things, and it isn't just interested in creating drama and controversy for the men and women who have sacrificed everything to do what they love. Okay. All right. Today's show, guys, I'm interested in your thoughts. What I want to do is, I saw everything going on with the Rick Steiner, Giselle Shaw stuff. I was at that WrestleCon. It had gotten wind. It was on another floor that I was on when I was there. And I didn't really dive too deep into it with everything. And I saw that it had resurfaced in the WrestleCon. And I go, why did that kind of resurface a few months later? And I felt like, I go, hey, this is going to be a great topic for today's show. And you guys calling in, I really, really would like to get your feedback, because what I'm seeing is, and this is just for the people that maybe not aware, to kind of summarize this. At some point during the WrestleCon event, it was a 3-day event there, great event. There was an incident with Rick Steiner and Impact performer Giselle Shaw, where, and I don't know the circumstances or what led to it. I don't know what would cause it. That Rick had made certain derogatory comments, I guess hateful type comments. The issue, from what I understood, was addressed immediately. Rick was removed from the event for the remainder of the thing. And I know Giselle had put out comments on the situation, and a very unfortunate incident with all of that. And I guess, and so kind of catching up everything, WrestleCon is for their Detroit event is bringing out the Steiner brothers. And I guess it's caused a little bit on both sides, people that understand and people that don't understand. And I'll tell you kind of where I'm at with it. And I want to hear where you're at with it. And I could just tell you from like my experience with things. And, so first of all, don't condone anything. And I think anybody who does anything of that nature, it does need to be addressed. WrestleCon had put out a thing that Rick had immediately apologized to the people that would hear. I guess there was an apology to different Impact personnel and stars. From what I understand and what I saw on the statement issued by WrestleCon, is Giselle Shaw chose not to be there, and rightfully so, and understandable with that. And hopefully at some point that they are able to talk, if they haven't already, and communicate and maybe get a better understanding of everything and each other. And that is handled between them, right? Two adults. So WrestleCon, but Rick apologized with everything. He was removed. And then, so my guess would be Rick probably had the promoter who brought him out, and that happened pretty early on in the convention. They lost money, I would imagine, or Rick, I would imagine, probably lost or whatever his payday was going to be for those 3 days. And that would be my guess is something for that. So there's that, just stating it. And hey, maybe I'm not, I don't directly know, but I could say if something, usually with that, you would probably want to do right with the promoter with that. If hey, we're going to give you $5,000 or $3,000 or whatever it is with it, and fly you out in the hotel, that probably that was compensated back would be my guess, but I don't know. I'm just guessing on this. I can tell you, I've met Rick on multiple events, and he was very kind to me early on when this was, and it's been a while on that. And Scotty as well. And Scott as recently as Baltimore came over before he left and said hello. And always have grew up loving those guys, as I'm sure many of us have. The WrestleCon, they put out the statement on Rick apologizing and everything, and that he's on essentially that they believe in, that he's learned his lesson in giving him a second chance for this particular situation. That wouldn't, let's go. And this isn't justifying anything, and I support fully. I'm friends with, and I say friends, the following Sunny Kiss and Nyla Rose. Nyla's been on the podcast before. I'm very supportive and with everybody being in pro wrestling and being themselves. Just so you know where I personally stand. Like I have no issue. It causes me or anyone else no harm. Now everyone else has like different feelings on different things, whatnot. But I've had nothing but positive interactions with them, and I don't believe Giselle I've ever met would have no issues. I suspect, just like everybody else, with any of that. So, but my thing is, it was an incident between two adults, essentially. Nobody there. It wasn't an act of violence as far as a fight or anything. He didn't kill anybody. You know, there's levels to all of this. So I'm just, so I can understand WrestleCon, and he apologized right away, and very regretful. It appears he's on a zero tolerance policy moving forward. If he has any other incidents, he's banned for life, right? And I really liked WrestleCon's statement in the fact of for this and how this particular situation that they're going to be he's going to be watched essentially. It's a zero tolerance deal, but they want to give a second chance, and where I'm getting as I think it's because we get a lot of people that want to. Life is a mix of good and bad. People are going to do good things their whole life, and there's going to be some bad moments with all of us, or what at least other people perceive as bad moments. And again, there's levels to all of this, and no one good moment should ever define us forever, and no one bad moment should ever forever define us. Even though on the bad, there's levels to it. The Chris Benoit situation, bad, that forever changed everything, right? And so I'm just trying to get you guys to understand these were, words, and I wasn't there for them, but I'm sure hateful and horrible, right? I think it's important for all of us to kind of, I look at this and try to evaluate and try not to be judgmental. We're all gonna grow up, like times change, okay? And we're all gonna experience this, that things that were tolerable, not right, not saying that right or wrong, but things that were tolerable or more tolerated in our youth may change and not be tolerated as we get older with this. And it's up to us as individuals to evolve and adjust and with all of that. And I look at this situation and I go, well, hopefully maybe a better understanding can come of this. It was a bad situation, but it was by far not the worst thing I've ever heard of with that. But I've never heard of Rick causing problems and other things. Maybe I could be wrong on that, but I never had heard of him being, a shit disturber at conventions or signings post career or anything of that nature. And I go, he had him and Scott, they had a hell of a career, both tag team and individual with that. Rick's son, Braun, is, in NXT and doing very well. I go, is it such a bad thing to give him another opportunity, and with a zero tolerance thing? If anything moving forward, you're done with that. To me, that doesn't seem like the worst decision on that and taking all things into account. And I don't know, if they talk to Giselle and it's not my business in that sense. That was between her and Rick and all of that. But I look at it and I try to look at it from a positive perspective I go, I hope that they can talk at some point and it could be all water under the bridge and educating and trying to help, and where Rick, is, because my thing is people are going to have their opinions and feelings regardless, but there's things you do, you don't, and you can, you don't, and you shouldn't do, and you should do different. Like there's levels to all this, and that's something you shouldn't do with any of that based off of how it was recounted and accounted for with everything that I read on the situation. But I'm curious on your thoughts, because I've seen some people think you should be canceled forever, which I don't know, like regardless of hearing all that. Another thing that bothered me that I saw with some people is some people were upset at the WrestleCon promoter for taking 3 months to address the situation, even though he addressed it instantly and Rick was removed from the event, which is addressing the situation immediately. But for people that his wife had cancer and passed away 3 weeks after the event. So one, apologies and positive thoughts and prayers to that guy for losing his wife of cancer with all of this. Because I can assure you that if that was my wife or something in that situation, I would give a two shits about anything else going on in the world. Okay. With all of that. And so it just kind of, I see that, and I see that the people aren't even like, I'm like, God, this poor guy with everything, you can't imagine what he's going through personally with all of this, and then having to deal with like the BS of other things and people, hateful people out there with all of it. So that's kind of the everything summarized up into the best of my knowledge from what I've seen. I want to hear what you guys think on today's show on it. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that he's getting a second chance on this particular situation. And I hope that like I said, Giselle, at some point, if she hasn't already, she very well may have, that they talk and they could get a better understanding of each other. And the event could be learned from with that. In no one bad situation, when again, levels to this, like I mentioned. And I think for this particular level, I don't think warrants a immediate lifetime ban. Now, had he come out and not apologized and handled it differently, that would be different. But I think based off of what we know how he handled it, that I think it's important, like, because everybody's a human being and all the people judging and criticizing, I guarantee you are doing probably, not saying they're doing that, but they're doing things that probably aren't right. And it's a weird environment that I see, like, people want to take something that happens that's bad for somebody, and they want to try to erase everything with them that's good and try to hurt them forever. And I really think that comes from a place of jealousy and insecurity from people that don't have what they want in life, who want to see people lose everything. And I think there's unfortunately a lot of people out there like that with it. I don't think it's right on that end. So, but I could tell you, I think I like the way that the WrestleCon has chosen to handle it, and man, positive thoughts and prayers to them and to that guy for losing his wife to cancer and still handling this 3 months after. Man, you were talking about something that could destroy you forever with this, but he's getting back on the horse and staying busy and in trying to make a negative situation right. So I think it's been handled fairly well from what I've seen on that. And I'm not, again, I think it's a thing between two adults also with it. And I think a lot of us like to get involved in other people's business. And at the end of the day, it's up to them. No physicality was had and nothing, so that's where I'm at with it. Where are you at? And again, I think another point, because I saw somebody said it's again to speak out against the trans. Would you feel the same way? And I think this is important. If it was Rick and another male, like if Rick got mad at me and had made comments to me, would you? And it was just words, and there was no physicality. There was just a verbal altercation. Would you feel the exact same way for that? I think those are important questions to ask with all of this. And but I like the way that everything appears to have been handled based off of what we know, and hopefully it never ever happens again. And a lot of people, hey, maybe other people can that maybe shared similar views and whatever. There may be a little more understanding of like, hey, this isn't acceptable to act that way at anything, and it is never acceptable to act any way at conventions or anything. And I've talked about this. That's not the place to go getting in fights or to go picking verbal wars or having confrontations with people over other things. Like, it's because you will get banned from those things. It's not tolerable. So, I'm curious what you guys think. Let's get going. Bring on D Foley. Hello.
Hey, big guy, how you doing, man?
I'm well. How are you today?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, man. I'm enjoying my day off today of work, so I'm just trying to take full advantage of that.
Good deal. Well, I appreciate you listening.
Oh, of course, man. Always, big guy. I'm gonna be real quick. Was actually thinking about this the other day and was hoping to get on with you to get your thoughts. Going back when you were in WWE and the bully back.
Yes.
I just wanted to get your thoughts, man. You did a really good job, really convincing. Like hell, like I was a fan of yours, and I wanted to slap the shit out of you for your treatment of others backstage, man. So I just wanted to just get your thoughts. How did you feel about it? And any stories, behind the scenes stories behind that whole thing.
I loved the bully Ryback stuff. That to me was the first, because you got to remember they dropped everything when I was red hot, babyface merch, everything got taken away. They turned me heel against Cena, but I was still getting cheered. And then, but what was happening like on live events and stuff is people were cheering, but the longer that went on, it was becoming, there was an awkward phase of that where people wanted to cheer me. They didn't want to boo, but I was being the heel and in playing the top heel at that, but I didn't really have, I was just feuding against the John Cena, which a lot of people though also didn't like. A lot of people did like as well, but it was just a weird thing. So when we got out of that, I did the Jericho program after that. And then we started the Bully Ryback. That was the first time that I could start getting real heat, I felt, and in kind of infusing my personality of what I thought a bully would be. And they gave me a lot of freedom after Vince, and they just that Vince, they were doing the Be a Star program, in which I was a part of with that, but yet I was being this bully on TV with it. And so I just took things and then tapped into my personality where I started calling myself, that's where the big guy started coming in again, where I could finally start calling myself that, the big guy, kind of like I can't even remember the first time, but it was in one of the bullying scenes where I referenced myself in third person kind of, and just the big guy and kind of talking to myself and like trying to really find what this persona was going to be. And I understood very clearly what Vince wanted, what in bowling, and Vince loved the bowling segments. I'm talking every time he saw, God damn it, I love this. Like, oh, you're such a bully. Like he would I'd go talk to him about something that had nothing to do with it. God damn it, you're such a good bully. Like he loved it. And so to me, it was just hilarious. And the guys that I worked with all great, and they were putting me in great segments where I could like kind of finally start tapping into this arrogant, cocky persona of like, I kind of like, would look back and they talked about this on various things. I always loved a lot of the Rock stuff that he did when he was a heel and the shit talking. I felt like this was an opportunity for me to start letting my personality come through in a negative way on like, and for this character to start doing some different things that could catch on. And so I loved all of it. And it was a shame that it got cut short. Even Vince, when he took me out of it to put me with Heyman to go on to feud with Punk again, and then with Axel and not be a bully anymore. When I would go talk to him again, he would like, God damn it, I love that bully stuff. Why did we stop it? I go, why did you stop it? Like that was like I've still multiple. I go, Vince, why did you? I don't know. Like he just okay. You run this, so like I'm just doing what you say. So,
right.
But I loved it, brother. Like it was. I had family members that were upset with me. They thought like I was really a bully. I go, this is acting.
You were spot on, because I was like, just watching at home would just be like, oh my, he is really convincing. Like, oh my God, just reminiscent of of childhood memories and all that stuff, or of everybody's childhood memories of that classic bully. You really did a good job.
Thank you.
Really did a good job with that. And just to kind of follow up what you said about Vince, taking the bully persona away after when he put you and Paul Heyman together, maybe you could have just kept the persona without the pushing of bully. I don't know. That would have made sense to me, for you to keep your same attitude, your same stride, your same heat, and just not mention it, but still keep that. And then I'm pretty sure that would have carried on successful as well for you.
Yeah, no, I think so here's my thing though. It's one of the characters that I played that I look at, even though it got cut short, it was enough. It was memorable enough where people, I really believe and that character is something I want to revisit at some point. I think it would be hilarious at some point in time to revisit old Ricky Starks down at AEW. The old Bully Ryback shows back up again, but it's kind of like a lot of time has gone by, right? So it's a little different situation than we were, 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, 10 years ago almost. So it's like, I look at that, I go, that's like, I love that footage exists still with Ricky Starks, even though he wasn't technically Ricky Starks at that in Corpus Christi. Was it, no, I can't remember. It was somewhere in Texas, Laredo, Texas, that episode. I wrestled Cena that night on Raw, I think in the main event for the championship. It was non-title, I think, that night. And did that bowling segment with Ricky. And he played that part so perfectly. But I think that's the type of thing where Bully Ryback could show back up at any point in time, and like there's so much stuff you could do with it still. So
most definitely. Well, I appreciate you once again picking me and having me on, big guy. Take care of yourself and be safe out here, man.
You too, brother. I appreciate it, and you have a good one. Enjoy your day off.
Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you very much. Lions Talk, thank you very much. Ryback has changed the game, allowing fans to call in, watch, and see if other former wrestlers do this as well. Innovation at its best. Thank you. I really believe so. I don't think everyone, and again, people have done call-in stuff. It's not, but I really think incorporating it the way that we are and using Twitter spaces with this and the ebb and flow of it can go really, really as slow or as quick as we want. I really believe it's only a matter of time before moving to a bigger platform. And I've always just worked under myself with everything, and I love it and the freedom of that. But I do think it's coming. This is a lot of people don't understand. We do a lot of views. If I get back on TikTok with my following, what we were doing, I'm telling you, between 50 and 100,000 listens on the live. And there'd be sometimes it'd come back at 35, 40, 45,000 listens, but things that would technically count as a listen time-wise on all the, and so it is, there's a huge opportunity here. And because this is where I talk about, I've got a big following. I've been disconnected from a lot of it with everything going on with the suppression with it. I always just tell you guys, how did I get this following? And this following was built post WWE on the majority of platforms. TikTok was built years after WWE. YouTube was built years after WWE. How did I get this following and then get disconnected from it? Something had to have happened, right? With it, it's just common sense. With it, you don't just grow, and then all of a sudden it starts getting taken away when you're more active than ever and it's very engaged and you get great engagement, but your impressions get cut down and slashed and people don't get notifications. And people overall, and I'm talking about the majority on that, there's some really fucked up stuff going on with this, and it's been going on, and I'm not going to be quiet until it's all resolved, but we're winning. You can't fight. The best thing you can do is just not give up. And that slingshot just gets pulled back further and further and further. But I do think you have to have an ability to talk to people, and I don't think just anybody could do this. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but go ahead and bring on Cody. Welcome to the Ryback Show.
Hey, man.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I wanted to say one thing real quick. So today, because I saw the topic, today I brought up Rick Steiner because I don't know if you know, did you see any of the dialogue on Rick Steiner today?
No, I haven't seen anything today. What's going on?
So the big thing is, how, he's basically hated by the LGBT community because of the Giselle Shaw thing. And I basically drew a point to, not directly, to one of the wrestlers who has a very strong opinion about the issue, that it's important to draw the line between performer and personal opinion. And moral compass, basically, like what a person feels politically against how a person performs in the ring. And personally, I think comedy is a huge element of wrestling, and it's a huge draw for me. And the fact that, Rick Steiner is canceled over his opinion towards the LGBT community kind of made me be like, all right, I want people to just watch Rick Steiner in Varsity Club and try not to laugh. So I kind of drew that opinion towards a wrestler who vanity tweets himself all the time. And he's a wrestler who I work kind of close with, but I kind of wanted to just draw a dialogue and see what his opinion was in regards to weighing his opinion towards me versus his opinion on this issue. And it's just kind of sad how, fragile relationships can be today towards just a simple opinion like this. And I just wanted you to hear that. He blocked me today. This guy who I, drew the opinion towards who vanity.
Do you want to say who it was or no?
What's that?
Who was?
I can say it was a guy named Effie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was, I've seen him through Matt Cardona tweeting. I think Matt worked him before. He's an independent performer, right?
Oh yeah. California, lots of California.
Yeah.
With the main company I work with, GCW.
Yeah, no,
So,
I just think too, like, I understand because we all get hate and negativity. I understand people and know that those performers, as every wrestler, whether you're straight, bi, gay, trans, like everyone gets hate over just ridiculous things in general.
Yes.
But like it sucks, and I know Darren Young in the Nexus, Fred Rosser, and God bless him, his father just passed away at, I believe, 98, and just great human being. And all of us in Nexus. I remember when Freddie came out, none of us gave a fuck. I think it didn't change. It literally didn't change. And he was so terrified. I remember him talking about thinking like people like those of us that knew him and like we're gonna just stop talking to him and like no. I've traveled with Freddie. I've shared hotel rooms with Freddie. Never once has Freddie ever been unprofessional or anything. Fred's just been a great fucking guy from day one. He's a hell of a wrestler. He loves wrestling. And I think all of us we were very supportive of him. And if so, even and just let him know, like, brother, no fucking none of us care with any of that. But not everybody thinks like that, unfortunately. And a lot of fans and different people with social media, though, will say very hateful, negative things based off of somebody's sexual preference or what they believe their ideologies are, or what they think. And we just so we're all dealing with a lot of hate on things, and I think even people like that, like they deal with a lot of hate on that specific thing on it, and it's it just sucks that there's just so much hate out there with things, but people are going to have their different opinions and things. I just think for this specific situation, on knowing what we know and knowing that Rick apologized right after, and my thing is it was between those two people, two adults, and it hopefully, and he's on a zero tolerance thing. I'm like, I don't understand the like. How long do people want a 1-year ban for Rick Steiner on what would like everyone's going to have a different thing that they think is right or wrong. I was like, based off how he handled it though, and it seems like he's smart enough to know he made a mistake on this. Why wouldn't we want to try to educate and help people not become less hateful? Where him and Giselle could hopefully have a conversation to have a better understanding of each other. And like that sets a good example, I think, for the world of like, look, I made a mistake, but I learned from it because people do make mistakes on on that. And I think he's handled it though as well as you can handle, as far as from a professional standpoint of apologizing instantly with it, and then trying to make the situation right, and hopefully having a better understanding of what he did wrong, and so it doesn't happen again with anybody else, hopefully. But I don't know. People just want it seems to like over everything. A lot. I just see it and we see it in all, not just wrestling, everything. People want to take one situation or one thing they hear, and they want to see somebody lose everything. I feel like, and I don't I really don't understand that part. Like to the people, I'm really curious to get somebody with a really strong opposite opinion of like this. Like, what do you think should happen to Rick for the rest of his life? Then, like that's I want to just hear what they say and their reasoning for it. Like.
It truly doesn't make any sense how collectively the masses will just just drag somebody to the point of no end. It's almost like there's nobody to say like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, but that's I don't it's I saw even somebody else on the post had made a comment on the WrestleCon thing, and then there were people going, this took you 3 months to address. And I go, what are you talking about? They addressed it instantly when it happened with all of it. They removed him from the event. And by the way, the promoter, his wife had cancer and passed away 3 weeks after the event.
Wow.
Like, so she was dying all the way up to that event and through it, and they still handled it. And they say things were not all handled as timely as they would have liked. But I'm like, is there any consideration for the man losing his wife to cancer? I didn't see anybody in there like saying, Jesus, like, I'm sorry for that, your loss. Like, but everyone wants to be so, not when I say everyone, I'm talking about the negative portion that want to just attack. And they just go from thing to thing to thing. And I really believe it's just to distract themselves from their own lives every day.
That's 100%. Yeah. That nail on the head. And boredom. Boredom's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And then I find I search for all these motivations to whenever I see something and say, why would somebody say this? I search for various motivations, various similarities. And I see boredom to be a big similarity. I
Yep.
see a style of avatar on a profile picture to be a similarity, you know, just various certain ways of speaking and syntaxes. And I'm a communications manager, so I try to pick up on various nuances of people. Like, is this person a good person to follow? Is this person a good person to get information from? And I don't think Twitter has a clear delineation on who's worthy of, you know, their who's worth considering, whose input is truly worth considering as like a very, you know, credible, thoughtful opinion or thoughtful sentiment. Like so a lot of these, you know, a lot of Twitter accounts will just, the ones that speak the loudest are the ones who get heard. The comprehensive ones, the ones who tweet a lot of, you know, verbose things, a lot of, you know, comprehensive thoughts, a lot of rationale, a lot of reasoning. People don't want to do reasoning. They want to see in caps lock, oh my God, look what this guy did.
I agree.
And it just becomes this sensationalized capitalist machine when it kind of used to be a little bit different before, you know, dumb people started to use the internet. But I mean,
I agree.
You know, Twitter's just an app. It's just it's you know, it was a serviceable thing, but until they fix a lot of the things, like how basically you know, the blackballing of you, and
it's crazy, right? I'm telling people, I'm severely suppressed. I've got a stalker out there with making death threats on their platform, making thousands of accounts who's allowed to continue to harass while he's under investigation, that they have all the context of and they're choosing to ignore. And like the people who make the most sense don't typically get the reach of the people that make the least sense. And it's like, that is not helping our world in any way, shape, or form with this. And that bothers me every day when I think about that, man.
Because it's available that it can be. It's a fix. Like, it's a possible fix. Like, they can fix this. And there are inklings sometimes. Like, on a day-to-day basis, I do see inklings of, like, hope. Like, do you see some inklings of hope? Like, in some ways, like, I actually enjoyed the rate limit for a second, because some people, like, really abuse their little, you know, ability to tweet. So I like started to like the rate limit for a second, and I started to think, like, maybe there are some things that the Twitter brass are thinking of that are going to help the dialogue. Maybe there are some things, like, maybe there's certain words that if you've used, you're, like, in the clear or something. Maybe there's certain words that if you spelled correctly, you're in the clear. I'm starting to hope these things, because I've seen, you know, Elon Musk's, like, you know, podcast and stuff, and his, you know, his appearance on Rogan and stuff. Yep. And he doesn't seem like a guy with ill nature. Yeah. Like, he doesn't seem like, oh my God, his picture with Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, he doesn't seem like that's his life. He seems more towards a progressive society. Like, he probably wants to use space as somewhere else to live that's away from here. I think he has
to redo it in the way that he envisions is probably better for the human race. Like, I agree. I don't know him personally on any of that. And it's, I think there's a lot that goes into this, that it is, and I'm sure he, in seeing what he took on when he bought Twitter, was even way worse than what he anticipated on the amount of problems. And I do feel he's been transparent on certain things, on, like, he's talked about the restrictive coding. And I believe, and like this is at least what I'm choosing to believe, is that, like, the restrictive coding deal, that they just haven't figured it all out. And that hopefully at some point in time, whatever extra restrictive coding is still on my account is going to be recognized at some point, because my account does get better views now under him finally. And I'm not restricted like I was. I get nowhere near.
I was surprised I got a notification for this. Honestly, I was surprised I got a notification for this space. I'm like, oh shit, Ryback.
Yeah. So there's weird things still going on, but it's, at least I'm not just being held to 2,000 or 3,000 views on every post. That I do have certain posts that do go a little bit, even though they don't go nowhere near what they should for the following. I believe that there's still other things he's trying to fix, and on top of it, but you know, the rate limit too. Like, say that there's a thing that only how much you could view per day. The problem with that is people are just going to go to another platform. Yeah. With that, everyone would have to like so, and then you could still spend your whole day going through there's enough social media platforms and things that you could distract yourself. The problem is that's individual mindset, and we can't fix that with everybody, no matter how hard we try with it. And it's just, I tell people, I say thank you for every day. And I really believe, like, those of us that get it, we try to have as much real life interactions as much as possible. Try to find as much good in social media as possible, because there is a lot of good. Just try to concentrate on that as much and block the bad and just keep moving forward. But it's like we're seeing changes and things happening in the world and in human behavior that is very concerning. And it's
a good word for it. Concerning is a good word for it. I'm like flabbergasted by it.
Yeah, I'm very concerning on my end. It's just, but you know, it is what it is, and it's, I don't know, brother. But so let's summarize this before we take another caller here. So on where your official stance on the Rick Steiner situation is, you think it's been handled with WrestleCon? You like how they've handled it?
I think that the people that it affects, you know, it's always gonna affect that, you know, community of people, you know, because they feel, you know, attacked by it and stuff. To the rest of the world that's not part of that community, I just wish that they would see a performer for their body of work, like, especially pertaining to this industry. I'm not saying, like, you know, go, you know, buy Chris Benoit's autograph. I'm not saying something like, oh, every single person's in the clear and you can, you know, just celebrate whoever you want, no matter the content of their character, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, there's certain things that should be known about people, no matter what their moral code was. Like, if they provided something good to the world, you should know about the good to the world while you know the bad to the world. I just want to see him kind of, like, you know, I want the people who don't like him to at least view a clip of him in Varsity Club, like, running around and acting like a freaking idiot, just to know, like, the comedy that he provided during the time that he was performing. That's all. Like, you can dance on him, whatever you want. Just know. Just be knowledgeable. That's all I want.
No, I love it, brother.
I love you, and I hope to see you back in the ring someday. And if you ever, you know, you're looking for somewhere in California, I know you're in Vegas, right?
Yep, I'm in Vegas.
I can talk to the right people. I'm sure you can talk to the right people. I don't know what your rate is or whatever, but if you plan on getting back there, I don't know if you do because of the state of the business, but if you do, I know the route to go. I'm very knowledgeable about certain ways to get your name out there. So,
good deal, Cody. I appreciate it very much, and you're always welcome on. I've enjoyed the conversation.
Thanks, man. Me too.
Take care. Awesome. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Let's see here. Let me take a quick look before we take another call. I appreciate everybody also yesterday that joined me on my Ryback Open Challenge on 2K23. That is on YouTube as well. And the main event match is an Elimination Chamber match with me and CM Punk, where we had to team up for a portion of the match to take out a creative wrestler that was using one of the was it a turbo controller, one of the hacks essentially, where we could not pin him forever, and it took us, me and Punk had to unite forces in this 2K23 match. It was me playing as myself, Super Ryback level 99, with all my moves, by the way. Thank you, Rebecca. She got me all the moves, and a very strong character. And I was able to we were able to pin him. Punk, I believe, got him with a GTS finally after like 1,000 of them. And I've got him with multiple shell shocks. And then me and Punk turned on each other, and I eventually shell shocked Punk for the 1, 2, 3. And it was a great way to end yesterday. All right. Let's go. Captain Keith. Bring on Captain Keith here. What's going on? Oh, did we lose the captain? I think we might have lost. Nope, we lost the cat. Well, sorry there, captain. We lost the captain. Let me make sure who we got here. Hello.
Hey, Ryback, what's going on, man?
Not much. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing good. I didn't even request. I was just listening. And I heard you saying my name. So
it said requested on there, I thought, and I hit add. Maybe I don't know.
I might have accidentally hit it. I've been moving my phone around trying to get some stuff organized over here.
Oh, no worries, brother. It's just good to see you on here, and I'll get another caller here. It's good to see you again, though.
Oh yeah, you too, man. You take care.
You too.
All right.
Bring on Don McGuire. Don, welcome to the Ryback Show. I want to talk too about the Ridge Holland stuff and other things. They put out a tweet this morning. That's another thing. Hello.
Oh, hey, Ryback, it's Don. What's up?
Not much. How are you today, Don?
Oh, nothing much. Just been waiting to get back on the show. I was wondering why my mic was off there for a second. I apologize, brother.
No worries. What's on your mind?
I have been listening to your show every single day since I was on the first time. You should know that because you have liked all of my tweets, and I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
And if you didn't know, Brooklyn Brawler's in the house. He's been in the house since the start of the show.
Yep, Brawler's an avid listener of the Ryback Show. Always greatly appreciated. It always makes my day.
He finally follows me now on my Twitter because I follow him like he does with everybody else that listens to your show, buddy.
Yeah, no, it makes my day, man. Everyone, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the stories.
Mine, dude. I mean, I told all my friends about that.
We're gonna have to. At some point he's gonna create his own podcast. I know it. He has to, but we're gonna take advantage of it until then.
Well, let's hope he doesn't, brother. I love his stories.
Same.
Yeah, but anyway, man, I was telling all my friends the day I got on your show and stuff like that, and I've been like taking my phone with me, going with them, listening, hoping to get on, and I finally did. So they'll be happy to know that I got on again.
No, I'm glad you were too, brother, and you're welcome on anytime. We'll get you back on.
Yeah, I got a new picture and everything in the background after the incident with your stalker, so I wanted to make sure you knew it was me.
No, I appreciate it. Yep, and I appreciate all the support.
Yeah, that's my little nephew. Those are my nephews and my little special needs niece there, and a little bit of my mom that was there from a Halloween that was like years ago.
Good deal. Oh, I love Halloween.
Yeah, that was, if you look at my little nephew, Sam, he was a Minion that year, and my nephew Avery was Iron Man.
I can see the Iron Man.
Good enough, yeah. Yeah, that was, but yeah, I'm sorry. I know I'm just shooting and just talking, man, because you're like one of my all-time favorites. I'm sorry. I know you weren't waiting on a question. You got other people in the room.
No worries, Don, and we'll get you back on here another time. I hope you have a great day.
Oh, hey, I do have a question, though, by the way.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I was just saying, oh God, I'm just talking instead of asking a question because I know you had other people. I have multiple ones. I wanted to talk about the incident you were talking about with Rick Steiner and Giselle Shaw.
Okay.
Well, I did hear about that, and that surprised me because I'm a huge fan of the Steiner brothers. Like, they were my favorite tag team in WCW, my all-time favorite, and I was shocked when I heard about that with Rick Steiner because I did not think that he would say that. I mean, I thought it was the wrong place to say it.
Yeah, I was too. I was kind of, when I saw that, I was like, wait, did that really happen? I've seen him at conventions and things, and that's why I was like, I don't know the circumstances of like what, not to say that anything would warrant that kind of, behavior, but I was like, was it possible that he went out drinking the night before and was like hungover? Just like, I was trying to think, like, did he not remember? Like, you know what I mean? Not saying that doesn't make it right. It's no, but like, I can't, like, I couldn't figure it out, but I was happy to at least see that he did apologize and realize that he made a mistake and should not have done that, which I think is the next best thing on top of, outside of that horrible thing happening. So.
Yeah, it was just, and that happened shortly after he was inducted into the Hall of Fame that year, and Braun and his son Braun Breaker just turned heel at that point. I was a little worried about how they were going to use Braun Breaker after that because that was like a big issue then. Yeah,
and it's good. I think Rick has handled it appropriately and understands also that Braun and being in the business, and no one probably feels any worse about this than now Rick and realizing that he made the mistake, and hopefully, like I said, I think things that we're all going to experience this as we get older, that things that were, I've even seen language that when we were, kids, words that we would use when we were kids, insults or different things are less tolerated now than they used to be 20, 30 years ago, with that. And that's just one little thing. Like things change as time goes on, and we kind of have to, you know, adjust. And I never think it's a bad thing that we want less, that overall people want less hate in the world. I don't think it's ever going to exist where there's no hate in the world. Unfortunately, there's just the way people are and whatnot. But hopefully we can learn from situations like this and minimize events like this happening. And people are going to have their personal opinions and beliefs. And this is one of those situations where I think a lot of people were disappointed to hear how this was handled on his end, and being fans of him and loving him as a wrestler and growing up watching him. But I think the best thing is how he's handled it thus far. And like I said, didn't kill anybody. There wasn't a physical fight. There wasn't anybody actually physically hurt. So let's hopefully he can make this right and learn from it. And they can handle the situation, and hopefully they're able to talk and we could all move forward.
Yeah, I mean, because it was because I followed Giselle Shaw on her Instagram, and she mentioned that. I was in shock because I'm like, wow. And also, it kind of was hurtful because I have cousins that are trans or in an LGBTQ and stuff. So it was kind of hard to do. But I mean, I didn't think she deserved that at that time.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone does on that kind of thing. And like I said, the altercations in wrestling, every one of those events are just, no matter who you are. Those events are for the fans, and for us to go there and to do the meet and greets and for people to have a good time. And you never want to have those events being associated with any like hate or controversy or, you know, confrontations. You know, angles aren't being shot there. It's a place to go and to meet the fans. And I think WrestleCon addressed it appropriately, got rid of him for the event. It removed him, you know, for the remainder of it. And then he handled it the way he handled it, with the apologies, and they go, okay, they just, you know, we'll give you one more opportunity, zero tolerance. And hopefully, you know, this never happens again. And I think too, it's good how they've handled it, and that it lets people know that, look, if you're going to be a shit disturber at the events, there's a good possibility that you could get blackballed or not be able to participate in them. And you're not going to be able to earn any revenue for these things that are very lucrative for a lot of wrestlers. So.
Yeah, you know, I understand that. I mean, I still love Rick Steiner and Scott to this day. You know, Giselle Saul, she's over there killing it on Impact Wrestling, being amazing. And I'm hoping one day you get to do a meet and greet, and I get to meet you in person, Ryback, because from whatever that drunk guy over Ringside News thinks, or your stalker, you're like one of the coolest people that I've talked to and known so far in your show and everything. So they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Thank you, Don. No, it's greatly appreciated. I always appreciate the love and support. And I'm going to take another caller here, though, and try to keep the show going. And you're welcome on, Don. I'll try to get you on here more.
Okay, I wanted to say one more thing. Do you ever think that you could ever team up with Goldberg and Wardlow in a 6-man tag?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if I get that Goldberg, that one-on-one match first, and then we'll go from there.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think you'd be able to work with him after that and con him not to retire? Because kind of my dream tag team is you and Goldberg.
Yeah, brother. I think that would be absolutely kick-ass and awesome.
Yeah, you could put your stalker on one side and Steve on the other side. And both of them, and he could spear and jackhammer him, and you all be victorious, and we could bask in the glory of you and Goldberg, because you guys are my two favorites like ever. And then maybe Wardlow can do a powerbomb symphony just to finish it off, just for the hell of it.
I love it. We'll have to see. Don, though, you have a great day, brother, and it's good talking to you again.
Well, yeah, I'll still be in there listening because I'm waiting for Brawler's Corner towards the end of the show. I appreciate you having me on. I'll be listening every single day because I always wait for your show, Ryback.
Thank you, brother.
Not a problem, buddy. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good deal. Thank you very much. There was somebody that I wanted to, let me see. Take a look at this account real quick. Diamond Dan, very suspicious looking account. Bring on Oscar for a question here. Oscar Rodriguez. Diamond Dan, that account looks very shady, Diamond Dan. I don't know if you're a real person. Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hey, Ryback, how you doing, brother?
Very good, thank you. How are you today?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. It's my wife's birthday today, so just celebrating that.
What's her name?
Angie.
Happy birthday, Angie. I hope she has a wonderful day with you.
Thank you very much, brother. So I just had a few more than, I guess, statements than questions. First of all, I just want to say that everything that you're going through with the whole Chase thing, all wrestling fans need to see this and realize that certain guys, they're not just being dicks when they come out of shows. They got to deal with certain stuff like this. So people need to take that into consideration.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's very unfortunate. And this is one of the reasons the other day when I went on that, when I said what I said, where I was very heated about everything going on with the hate being put out with the other wrestlers and all the dirt sheet BS, is that people like that guy read this stuff and they're mentally, there's something off with them and they're easily persuaded and convinced. And that, so my family's life and my life and my friends have been threatened, but me and my family, and it has altered my life in the way of that I've got to take it very serious, because it is serious. And it's been 12 years with somebody creating thousands of accounts and harassing and stalking and slandering my name. And then these dirt sheets slandering my name, trying to hurt me, try to hurt my brand. You're taking away potential business from me with everything. You're taking away relationships. You're causing more hate and controversy and drama for no reason other than you're like, and it's like, I'm the one in dealing with this and other wrestlers deal with it. But I'm like, now you're dealing with my family's life and my dog's life being threatened multiple times and my information put out there publicly with this. It's like, I'm done. I'm done. No, like there's zero tolerance with this, and that's why this guy. I'm telling you, I'm everything in my power to put him away. Like he doesn't even that, and the guy doing the news that's putting out the lies. Everything in my power to ruin his life. I'm telling you guys point blank. I am going to make examples of them for the world with this. That this you want to fucking play this game, you are going to fucking lose. You're going to lose every time.
No, Ringside News, they're a little crap over there. And look, I'm going to tell you like this, because I'm a writer myself. I wrote for bodyslam.net, and I could say Body Slam, Cassidy Haynes, great fucking guy. He does what he does his thing. As far as Ringside goes, pieces of shit over there. I almost worked for them, honestly, and I'm kind of glad that things didn't work out. But that leads me to my other thing. So I actually started my own thing, and I noticed that you blocked me on mine, Water Cooler Wrestling Talk. And I was just curious about that. Like, do you just block all this, like everybody just to...
I block a majority of them. So if I see people that are retweeting things from that other site as well, or where they're popping up, I don't want to see.
I don't retweet. Yeah, I don't retweet.
Or but like if they're tagged, I don't know what, and I don't know what the other one. I have no idea. But I don't. When I block things though, it doesn't necessarily mean I hate anything. It means there's something I don't want to see with it. So it's very possible that I just saw something on it, and I just there's wrestling things too that I see. If I see like they look like whatever, I just block. I don't worry about it, because like I'm not at the end of the day going to lose like any sleep. I don't sit there, but it's not like coming from a place of like, I hate this or that. I see a lot of people, and I give them people, even I follow, that where I have to mute them because they keep constantly engaging with those accounts with different things. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want, and I don't know what the situation with this particular one is, but like, I just block, move forward. Like I'm not even, I don't worry about it. With it. I just, if there's something I see or I go, I don't want to see this right now. I'm literally dealing with a stalker of 12 years, like where in my family, and making sure that we get him arrested. He's being monitored and tracked. Like this is a very, and with all and I see the drama and the stuff being put out, like that guy at that site, and we don't even need to keep saying their name. Like they don't deserve it with it. No, that guy thinks it's a good idea to lie and try to put out more lies. He's actually talking and communicating with the stalker. Like this, if that doesn't like say like what this person is, while this is going on, while I'm trying to make sure my family is protected, I go, that's what that fucking piece of shit thought was a good idea to go and do. I'm like, I'm not. So, and then that's why I tell you guys, don't engage with these accounts. The what?
Well, their true colors were shown a long time ago when he he bashed Nyla Rose because she was trans. He put out some bullshit about when all right.
Yeah, we don't even. I've heard it all, bro. We don't need to talk. I don't want to waste the show talking about the piece of shit like that. But that's probably why the water cooler. I'm telling you, I have a feeling that there was something tagged in it where I just don't want to see. That's why I tell you guys, like, don't engage or communicate in any way. Like, if you do, that's your choice. But if I see it coming up on my thing,
I don't like them people at all.
yeah, it's just not worth it to me. Like, I'm running a business, doing a show, trying to get ready to go back to wrestling and protect my family. Like I can give two fucks what they're doing over there.
No, and I can't wait to see you in the ring, brother. I am a big supporter of you. I think it's unfortunate that you had to stop, all this stuff to deal with any of this bullshit, because that's not what it should be. We should be ready. I'm ready for you to come back. I know the fans are. So I just want you to know that you have a supporter in me, and yeah, that's never going to change.
Brother, I greatly appreciate it, and you're welcome on any time, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you very much. Have a good one, brother.
You too. And I tell you guys on that, sometimes if people, I have followers, I've got to mute some of you guys on things if I see that you're engaging, because you could say and I'm not talking about Oscar here, that you don't like him or whatnot, but my thing is if you don't block him and you continue to click on their post and engage and say, oh, this or that, and even if you're trying to defend me, you're helping them. You're giving them the clicks that they want. That's why they're putting out the lies and the things, is you're trying to get you to click and comment. The best thing you can do is block and ignore, as far as on that Twitter and things of that. And you don't got to say the name of them when you come on here. You can call them any name you want to call them other than what they are. Don't give them the free publicity on any of this. And I'm telling you, he's a worthless human being. The guy, and his karma is coming full blown, if it's not already. There's no way things are going good in his life with the way that he's behaving with that. And they're going to find out with all of it. Let's go ahead and let's bring on, guys. Let's go ahead and get a little Brawler's Corner here in the show today. See if Brawler has the Haku story for us, or what the story is going to be today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brooklyn Brawler here with Brawler's Corner.
Ryback, what's up?
Not much. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I got the busiest week of my life this week.
Oh, yeah?
So this Brawler story is going to have to be the only one that you got this week, because I'm going to go to Wisconsin. I got to do 2 appearances. I got 1 podcast. It's my wife's birthday. I got some super surprises. I got plane tickets. I got all kinds of shit that I can't even share because I don't want to hear it.
All right. This is what we got a good one today, then. I have it.
Well, I don't know. Where we left off was, I got into WWF at the time. People don't realize the machine that it is today was not like that yesterday. Yeah. Because when I was young and I first got into business, I got to wrestle every guy that everybody idolizes, like Roddy Piper, the Wild Samoans, the Iron Sheik. I mean, everyone.
Ryback.
I wrestled. I love working with the Samoans, because when they headbutted you, they had those big afros and you wouldn't even feel them. Yep. You know what I mean? And Roddy Piper, man, I could speak so highly of him because I traveled with him. I shared rooms with every one of these guys. Who is someone who is your least favorite person to share a room with? Oh my God, I'd have to say Barry Horowitz. Oh, why Barry? I don't want to bury him, but he's the kind of guy who would empty his bag and he would put his tights on one light, his boots somewhere else. Everything would hang on everything. That's the draw. So for people listening, though, I would have to do that. I would have rooms by myself. I would have to put my gear all over things to let it air dry so it wouldn't smell because if you leave it in your bag, it smells like absolute shit. And after 2, 3, 4, 5 days on the road, nobody's going to want to be around you if your gear doesn't. I know, but I don't like to say people's names, and I like to hurt him because he's a friend of mine too, and I have nothing bad to say. No, but he's just trying to air dry but his gear was hanging all around the. If you're sharing a room with somebody, you got to take that into consideration. And, I never did that, but you know what? I did some stupid things too. Like when I was overseas, I had a little too much to drink, and I got up and I was sharing a room with Lanny Poffo, God, rest his soul, and I pissed in his bag. I thought I was walking to the bathroom, and and before he died, maybe 3 months before he died, I told him the story, and he says, "That's water under the bridge." He goes, "I remember the story. It was actually in New Zealand." And he said, "I do not hold that against you. You took him to the laundromat and you washed everything for me, which was in a hotel, and you took care of me. But I don't know if you've ever been over drink, and then you go to the walk to the bed.
Oh yeah, I think it's happened to the best of us. I've done a few much worse. So
I go into the corner, and his bag is on the floor, and I'm pissing in his bag. I think I'm pissing in the fucking toilet.
The good thing is you cleaned it. I thought you were going to say that you never told him, and he just wrestled with piss gear the next day, and you told him 3 months before.
I'll tell you one thing I did. I was sharing a room with Bobby Heenan one time. Which I'm jumping ahead, but it don't matter because I'm not telling the Bobby Heenan story yet. One time I was sharing a room with Bobby Heenan, and I got up. I was so drunk, I peed on Bobby Heenan in the other bed.
Oh man!
And then when he got up, he looked at me and he goes, "I pissed the bed." And I said, "Bobby, I could not lie. I have to tell you, it was me and not purposely done. It was done because we both got fucking super drunk. That's why you didn't feel it."
Yeah.
No, and he laughed his ass off.
Jesus.
People don't realize he was a prankster. He was he could take a joke.
Yeah, no, I've heard so many good things about him. I always enjoyed him in WCW commentary when I was growing up, when he was in WCW, and that was after his WWF days. But I always, that was my experience with him, really, that I remembered, and I'd seen him at some conventions as he got older. But
I don't share rooms anymore, but when we did it in the early days, I shared rooms with everybody. I shared rooms with Jimmy Snuka, who did not drink, but he was, brother, do whatever you want, brother. The room is yours. Like that. And Jimmy Snuka's funny. Always go to the Chinese restaurant. The only thing he can say is curry chicken. Curry chicken. He never ordered anything different than curry chicken because that's the only dish that he knew, and he would say.
His physique too was incredible.
Oh my God, he was like Mr. Universe.
Yeah.
When I first seen him,
he was something else.
He was, but what a nice, considerate roommate, and a nice, considerate guy, and his ending was so. I'm not gonna like to see it because I just watched it on that fucking.
Yeah. Wrestling. Tamina, I love Tamina. She's loved by everybody. That's always.
Tamina follows me and I follow her.
Yeah. That's a reflection of, growing up with, she's just such a good human being. So
I sent her a DM right after he died, and I said, "I'm so sorry for your loss." She goes, "Steve, I don't think you know this, but my father loved you." That's what she said back to me.
I believe it.
That made me feel so good, so good. Tamina is a beautiful person.
She is. That's why she's even, no matter how she's being used on TV, they keep her there because she's good for the environment.
And as far as Rick goes, I was on many shows with Rick, and he's been nothing but a gentleman. And he actually saved me because I had a wrestling school out here in Michigan, and I had a wrestling company out here in Michigan. And I'm not going to mention names, but he said to me when I told him the name of my partner who I was working with, he says, "He's a crook." He says, my mother had a charity show in that town, and he robbed all the money.
Ugh.
I called up immediately. I said, "Take my name off of everything. The school is closed. The company is closed. Everything is closed." And we were doing well. I had so many people down there. I had Jerry Lawler down here. I had Eric Bischoff down here. I had Jake the Snake down here. I had everybody. I was bringing him through my connections. All the big stars down there. And I would have to say Jerry Lawler drew the most.
I've heard that with Jerry, man. There's a reason why he could still go out and doing shows at the age, and he gets, man. I've been on shows and watched him even after everything, just up till 4 years ago there, and his reactions. I got to tag with him. We did a main event for Northeast Wrestling against these two guys, and at one of the events at Six Flags in Jersey, and man, it was so. Even though I was really hurt, and it was so cool to get to tag with him. And man, the crowd the whole time was just as loud as could be, and he knows how to work. He knows how to do his thing, and he can get better reactions than anyone not doing a quarter of the things. And
that's right. He doesn't go around the block across the street.
Yep.
But anyway, I won a battle royal, which the winner of the battle royal would wrestle Jerry Lawler. So Jerry Lawler wrestled me because of a 10-minute promo putting me over about all I did in WWF and WWE and all the accolades that I have, which most of the people don't even know. They just figure, oh, Brooklyn Brawler, yeah, he did jobs, he did jobs, he did jobs. No, I wrestled, a WWF World Championship in Madison Square Garden, which I appreciate you posting because that's the way I wanted it, where the picture actually shows. That's why I retweeted it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because I got to learn how to do that because I still don't know how to do that.
My buddy Jeremiah, Disappointing Spaghetti Dinner on Instagram, he made that cool clip of you with the yeah, he does great work, man, on things. So he helps me out. Is
he one of the listeners?
Yeah, he's one of the he's down here now. Jeremiah, he's down there. He's two spot. If you look at your little thing, he should be two spots with him with a cat in the profile picture.
Oh yeah, well I already followed him.
Yeah, but he was the one that made it.
Make one with me and Owen Hart.
Oh,
that's what I would like. I would like a full match with me and Owen Hart, and just right on it because I loved Owen Hart. I wrestled him so many times, and that's why when I watch that show, I get so disappointed because all I've done in the business, like with Ultimate Warrior. I beat him once, and then I had like 47 matches with him.
Yeah.
Owen Hart, I wrestled as Blue Blazer. I wrestled Owen Hart as Owen Hart. If he puts a tweet out with Owen Hart with the full match, not where you go to YouTube and press YouTube, which you know what I mean, because the people don't see it sometimes.
Yeah, you want to be able to put it on Twitter, right?
Yeah. Because when you do it, they see the picture, and then
because a lot of people they won't want to click on links. Yeah.
Right, they got like 100 likes.
Yeah,
but it did good. But anyway, in the old days, I want people to realize that it was a Northeast territory. It was not like it is today, where we flew all over the place. It was all like Washington, Baltimore, Buffalo, Syracuse. We do all drives.
Yep. And
all the interviews that they did were all done. Sometimes outside at the arena by Vince McMahon because he was interviewing all the talent.
Yeah.
And the littlest people know is, and no one has ever told this, is there was a 4-inch step up where you had the talent stand on to make them look taller than they were.
Yeah. I've heard of this actually, that I heard he did this with Andre before.
Yeah, you heard that before?
I not with all the wrestlers. I heard he did it with Andre in one of the interviews to make the size difference even bigger than it was.
Yeah, he wanted to look smaller than the other.
Yeah.
But he did all the interviews. I was watching all this as a young wrestler in the business. And then sometimes they would rent a conference room in a hotel and they would do interviews. And then when they, when I was young and they hooked me up with Kamala and all this, we were involved in all that. You know what I mean? So I would stand there as Kimchi and, Kamala was, in all the main events, but,
yep.
I saw all the beginnings.
Vince worked really hard though. I always distinguish this despite my personal things of issues that have gone on and with things though, I've always respect from a business standpoint though. He's hustled from the very beginning to make WWE what it is. And you've seen that, right?
One time I said to him, I was at WrestleMania and I said, Vince, look at this house. He goes, do you think this just happened? He goes, do you know that I built this from nothing?
Yeah.
That's what he told me. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
Because it was nothing.
He didn't have the resources that he has now with it, where he had to do a lot of odd end jobs, right? Of everything. Right. And from.
Right. And he gambled everything on WrestleMania 1. He gambled everything.
That's what people don't understand, though. And I always respect the people that that's how I am. That's why I think with everything, like my issues with him, I go, I'll fucking burn it all down. I go, I'll risk it all to go for what I want to. In order to be as special in this as I truly want to be, you've got to be able to take every chance. I go, and I really think that it's a similarity in the mindset, not just me and him, but others that go. I just go, I have a fucking attitude. Like, I'm willing to risk it all. But like he truly did that. That where he was all right. If he lost it all, though, he would have. Nobody ever would have heard him of after that. But
and he don't care.
Yeah.
Take the risk anyway.
Yeah. That's one thing that I recognize with that he's with all of what he's built with that. So.
But that show with what is it called again? Tragedy Wrestling. I forget the name of it. What was the name of it again?
Are you talking about the Dark Side of the Ring?
Dark Side of the Ring. Okay, Doink the Clown. They plug Ray Apollo, who probably did it 2 or 3 times. They don't plug. Vince called me up to go get Matt Bourne.
Yeah, you told us that. They never give you the. I feel like
they don't give me any credit. They don't give me any credit. I flew all the way to Cleveland, got the suit, flew all the way to Stanford, learned a paint job, and got all the paint. Flew all the way to Calgary, and I was in the main event against Bret Hart in Calgary, in his hometown, for the WWF World Championship. Do you think the story would mention that?
It should. That's why I understand like your frustrations, because you've been so, like we talk about, and that's why I get mad at with how fans perceive things sometimes, that it's physical acting and everyone plays different roles. You've literally been involved and done just as much as far as being involved. You've just played different roles on things than people, but like where they look at that and I feel like this is what really bothers me with this. I feel like wrestling fans and different people, not everyone, a lot of them don't do this, but the ones that like that shit talk, and they think that like that somehow you're less valuable. And I understand, and there's different roles and people that play the roles, and there's different qualities that you're looking for in different things. But wrestling takes people playing various roles, and I'm sure you would have loved to be a 10-time WWE champion. And had they asked you, I have no doubt that you could have gone out there and done it with that. But you always respected them, and you were a professional, and always did, because you loved wrestling, what the company wanted you to do, and you were always figured in and involved with all that. I just think there should be more respect for all performers in general, and the people that play the bigger roles. And I've been on both ends of this and different ends. Like, I just think the work is all the same, essentially, of what everyone's doing. It's just the outcome of what the story we're telling is will go for one person and not the other. And I don't know. I understand your frustrations with how people, because it's.
You know what's funny? Like the Montreal screw job. Bret Hart came up to me and he said to me, if it turned out that I wrestled you instead of Shawn Michaels, which the match you seen, he goes, I wasn't going to kick out in Madison Square Garden. And he will tell you that's the damn truth if you ask him right to his face.
Yep.
And you know what I told him? If you didn't kick out, I would have got fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would have blamed it on me.
Yeah.
I would have to throw my body off, even though it would be my fault.
Yeah. No, I know.
I mean, it's the way life is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's crazy. You get the respect some people get the respect where the respect is not due, and they don't get the respect where the respect is due.
Yeah. But I think it's good. It's good to talk about this stuff where I think fans, I think they're going to continue to get more educated on this, where I talk about that physical acting aspect, and it's never taking anything away. There's certain people that can only play certain roles with that, and they deserve all the credit. Like, John Cena, and I've always been very, with the things he played that role unlike anybody, and had to stay healthy for a long period of time. And like, that was not an easy task. That a lot of people, that's not easy. The Roman doing what he's doing, it's not easy with that. It's very high pressure with that. Not everybody can handle that pressure. There's a lot. So like, they deserve all the respect in the world. But the people playing the other roles deserve all the respect in the world as well. And that, because there's only so many different roles in the game, and you're not always going to be that top role. You're going to sometimes be in the middle. You might be in the upper middle. You might have to go down for a while with it. But like, the people that are doing this love the business, and they're doing it. And it's like, they're not jobbers. They're not little bitches. They're not like, I hate the hate and negativity. I just want more people to be appreciative. And this is what I've always spoke out on, just be appreciative of the performers more. And it should be I've never been a fan of the pay scale being so fucking fucked up the way that it is with people. And, not everyone equal. I've never ever said it should never ever be equal pay, but it should be more equal than what it is. It should be more balanced, because I've seen the guys that are going out wrestling the 20-minute matches, but they're on the losing end, but they're doing all the work. They're taking all the same flights and all the drives. They're at all the same shows. There's no difference other than the finish on that. And like, where they are treated differently in that environment, and where like at times, and their pay is affected by that. And it's a very odd thing to me.
I agree. Because when I was Steve Lombardi doing jobs, which doesn't offend me at all to say that, and then I became Brooklyn Brawler, my pay jumped 4 times, but I was doing less work.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Everybody else was bumping for me.
Yeah. But like, my thing too is like with people that, so hear me out on this, Brawler. The thing that always bothers me is like, and you're playing the role that they ask, and you helping make for people and going out and putting them over. You're less likely though to get on the pay-per-views and things, because you're losing more on TV and you're not involved in angles necessarily all the time. My thing is, though, you're very valuable in helping the company make money on these pay-per-views, and these talents go on to pay-per-views, but you're missing out on that. You're not getting an opportunity as much as certain ones. So in my opinion, though, you are valuable to the company, where I don't think you should be punished and paid less overall. I think we should look at that and go, this is a very valuable performer that we could use, and we could adjust his role at any point in time. I don't think you should make a ton less on a downside. I think you should be taken care of on the downside aspect, this guy, rather than making 100,000 a year. And this is just throwing out random numbers, that you should maybe be making 300,000 or 400,000 a year and compensated, because you're not going to be on the pay-per-views. You might not do as well merch because you're being perceived from a character standpoint that you lose more than you win. But in essence, you're very valuable to the infrastructure of this company. And this is where I get mad, and where I was trying to communicate this with people on wrestlers on that. And I've seen my friends and people go through this, being left off the video games and them doing everything right and doing that and being professional. It's like, well, what the fuck do you want them to do? And why are you punishing them when they're giving you everything and you're helping me? These guys are helping me go on to pay-per-views and make more money with it. Why are they being punished on a downside standpoint? Or when their contract negotiations come back, you treat them like shit, kind of, you lowball them on things, when you guys are the reason, though, that the company is able to play the angles and do the things and to make the money that they make overall. And it's a team effort. And this is what I've talked about. And there's always going to be differences in pay and the roles and all of that. So it never should be equal. I just think it should be acknowledged more that you need the people going out there willing to go and put other guys over, and that the environment will be more positive if you compensate people accordingly, because we know what the deal is. Not all the fans are always going to understand that, but we do. And we love this and respect this. Don't fucking insult your performers and lowball them on a work when they are very, very fucking key in this infrastructure surviving. That if they don't agree to go out and do this, the product doesn't exist. Wrestling doesn't exist with it. So that's what I want people to understand.
You're right, and that's happening in Hollywood now. The writers are starting to say that too.
Yep.
You know, and they're all striking. They're saying, you know, we're writing all these lines that these big stars are making. They're making millions, and we're not making this, you know, as much as we should. Maybe not the same, but more than we're making.
Yeah, people, not everybody understands that the roles are different. Not everyone can be a top player or a top role, but you don't want to be. You need people that are willing to go out there and that love the business, that are accepting of what that role is, even though it's a lesser character role as far as the TV goes. You need that, though, in order to go to make the product survive and to work with it. I just don't. It's something that has bothered me from day one since I've seen it. I just think, and we see the numbers that they make overall, and how unfair the wrestling is compared to other industries. And I just think it should be more balanced. That's it. I don't think it should be equal. And I'll say this over and over and over, because so many people like to take things, and it may take me asking a question. When I wrote my blog on the pay scale, I was asking a question: why isn't there equal pay in wrestling, or more equal pay in wrestling? And with this context in that writing that was taken out of context so people can make their shit little fucking headlines and everything, is that it needs to be more balanced than what it is overall. And it will improve the environment, the backstage environment of pro wrestling drastically, in my opinion.
I totally agree. Well said. I agree with it. And I'm glad. And I don't want you to think I'm shutting your show this week. I just want to let you know I got a lot on the plate this week.
I understand, Brawler. Brother, you're always welcome on, and I hope everything goes well. And we'll be waiting for you when you're back.
In West Virginia, come on down. Brooklyn Brawler's coming. Ding Dong's coming. Abe Knuckleball Schwartz is coming. Everyone's, and there's going to be an Abe Knuckleball Schwartz jersey being sold. I
can't wait. Hopefully somebody grabs that. That's going to be a cool one.
I'm telling you, and they always make me sign WWE ring worn.
Perfect.
You know, always when on the spot I do it. I don't do it.
Yeah. But people follow you over here on Brawler Real with two R's on here.
I just followed every one of your listeners.
Awesome.
Tap the face and do it right there. You know, so I started tapping everybody's face and following everybody, even the ones that aren't following me.
Well, everyone, hopefully they follow you back. And Brawler, I always thank you for your insight and your time on here.
Okay, so I will not talk to you till next Monday.
Okay, I'm okay, but I'll be waiting. Hopefully everything goes well and safe travels, and we'll be waiting here for you next Monday.
Thank you so much. Always great to talk to you.
All right, Brawler, take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Awesome. Brooklyn Brawler, ladies and gentlemen, give him a follow. Shawnee, I'll get to you real quick here. I'm going to do a couple super chats real quick. Mark Smooth, thank you very much. Appreciate the positive impact that you've made. Great. Thank you so much, buddy, for the kind words. We've got another super chat, Ryback TV from King Kevin Daddy. Ryback TV, where you get shell shock from my question. I came up with that move while I was out after Nexus. With that, I needed to move it. Shell shock is a word that means battle fatigue, and I was a fan of the Ninja Turtles. And when I was out, I was trying to get everything ready for my return to wrestling as Ryback. And I looked at all the guys that were ever really over, and and things take time. You don't just have everything, but I just kind of started. What you need a lot of wrestlers, and I saw this in developmental, and this is something Stephanie McMahon in a meeting, and when they brought me up to Stanford to come back as Ryback, she goes, I've been following you from developmental, and she goes, we used to have to write papers and write things, and I never thought any of them fucking looked at any of this stuff. And she goes, you've always had a mind for this ahead of things, and she goes, from a merchandise standpoint, because nobody was doing merch and different things in developmental at the time. And I was looking for ideas of when I was Skip Sheffield, and I had all these things I would submit in on how they could make revenue with things, but different, just from phrases to different things that could be marketed, and from just an overall standpoint on the character. And she just goes, you've always just had a great mind for this in the business. And she goes, from your developmental days, and she's like, you've never let anything stop you. Me and Stephanie always got along really, really well with everything. And so when I was out, it was doing what I always did. I was just kind of trying to find the identity of what Ryback was going to be with that. And I just go, you got to have a cool name for your finisher, because I always liked all the guys when they had cool finishers when I was a kid and had a cool name. And so I figured out what it was. I didn't tell anybody, and I just waited. And then because a lot of guys don't think about this stuff. Some do, but a lot don't, or at least didn't back then. And so I'll tell you what happens is when they ask you and you get up there and they go, well, what's your finish? And because they're going to give you a push. This has happened. I've seen this with guys, and they go, I don't have a finish. So now they have to come in the ring and try to figure out a finish with you. And it may or may not be good, but the more things that you have that you can do, and you want your finish to be able to do something you can do to pretty much anybody. These are things that I learned very early on, and I had good guidance, and I had a good understanding on my own as well with that. But so that was just kind of what that was, and planning that for that return. I envisioned what I wanted Ryback to be, and it ended up being everything that I wanted it to be, because I didn't leave anything up to question. I never said, I don't know. I knew when they asked me who and what is this, I knew. I remember when they had a guy, a fucking jabroni, but his job was to ask you who you were as a character. A lot of guys didn't know who their character was with it. And I just remember he was like, who is Ryback? I'm fucking hungry and I always want more. Feed me more. That's who the fuck Ryback. I am a competitive motherfucker. Right then and there's your character. Let's go. I know who I am. And I was able to take who I am and infuse it into a character. But if they ask you and you go, I don't know, how the fuck are they able to market that? They can't with this. You have to know who you are in this business. That's why that's the key to getting over, is knowing who you are and then being able to communicate that to the fucking audience. But you got to be able to communicate it to the people you work with so that they let you communicate it to the audience. And if you can't get that fucking part, you're never going to get over. And you got to have a belief in yourself like no other, because there's going to be a lot of motherfuckers that tell you you're not who you think you are, or this and that. You better believe you are, because you better fucking be able to fight through it. And that's another reason a lot of people can't get over. Super chat here. Let me get to that. The Blazing Kitties, thank you very much, brother. Hi, Ryback. What do you think about what happened to Don Callis on Triple Mania? A fan attacked Callis when he was doing the whole story with Kenny Omega. So I've not seen this. I just heard about this recently. I got to go look for the clip. I would like to see the clip to see what the attack was like. That never, if this is all legit and not a work in any way, because I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I'd imagine it's real from what I saw the on Twitter. It looks like it was, anyways. There's never. It's just like Seth Rollins deal. Fans have no business. I'm telling you, this day and age, you're going to ruin your life. You try to attack a performer and jump in the guardrails. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. with it. And it is a losing battle every which way on it. And it's unfortunately something that performers have to be on the lookout for. And you know, WWE, when I was there, I know AEW, it looks like they have pretty good security around, but it doesn't, it's, there's always just people on a given night. All it takes is somebody letting their guard down for a split second, and somebody's waiting the whole show for that one person to just fucking take their eyes or to turn their back for a split second. They've got a quick opening. And it's unfortunately one of those things that it sucks. And I don't condone it. And it is, I'm glad he's all right. And it's just, there's no place for it, man. Bring on Shawnee.
Big guy, happy Monday, brother.
Brother, happy Monday. How are you?
Good, man. I started getting into your videos over the weekend. The review videos, man, they're great. I was laughing my ass off. I didn't know you did reviews and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you for watching. I started those years ago. I was really skeptical at first. The guy that was doing the editing for the thing, he goes, just go do a video and eat the new Chick-fil-A, the chicken sandwich. And I was like insulted. I go, I'm not a fucking loser. I'm not going to go eat a fucking chicken sandwich in my car. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, I didn't understand. Yeah, I go, what the fuck am I going to like just go? I thought it was the weirdest thing in the world, but I go, wait a second. Like I realized that I could just talk to myself and like, whatever's on my mind and kind of find my own style. And they started getting views at like hundreds of thousands and some got millions. And I'm like, oh, this all ties into my branding anyways. And once I realized what it was, and I could just go do my cheat meal every week, and then I could tie it into my marketing with Feed Me More Nutrition. And then I go, why wasn't I doing this sooner with everything? But it was a mental block for me at first. I go, oh, what a loser I am. Just eat. I go, wait, I ate in my car for years in WWE. Like all you're doing.
It's the point that he said, like, go eat in your car, right? Like, because like if somebody told me that, I'd be like, fuck, what do you mean go fucking eat in my car?
Oh, brother. I thought, I'm not even kidding. That first, so I had to do, it was Chick-fil-A versus Popeye's chicken sandwich, I think was the first one.
Oh, yes.
So
that was like all the rave. I remember that.
Brother, the Popeyes line, I was in line at Popeyes for almost an hour, and I said, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm waiting in line for a fucking hour, and I got to drive across town. There wasn't a Chick-fil-A by me at the time, so I had to drive across town to this fucking Chick-fil-A after. Then I had to record, and I'm going, this is fucking this. But I was never forget this. I was in my Challenger, and just fucking sitting. I go, well, this chicken sandwich better be fucking amazing. Like it's, but here we are, and it was.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask. Yeah, so that's how it started. That's how you started doing the videos.
Yeah, and then I go, well, I do my cheat meal every week. I'll usually eat just a little junk food once a week, and I go, why wouldn't I just do this? And like I was at the time still reading and learning about marketing and branding, and even though if that conversation took place a year prior to when it did, I would have just said fuck off. Like, and not like I just would like, I'm not doing it.
Not in a bad way, just like,
like I don't need to be like, but I didn't understand. I go, no, this is that now that's, and especially this suppression. I don't think people understand like the revenue on YouTube and how like I can do that for the rest of my life. And I built a brand around doing a cheat meal once a week. Like that will forever bring in revenue. And the bigger my following gets, the more that goes, or it should.
I watched a video on the true revenue on like a YouTuber, like with like not even that many, like it was like a decent amount of subscribers, and way less than what you have right now, and they are living fine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like every month. Like, it blew my mind. Actually, it absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah, that to me, and I go, but that's where I learned that Gary Vaynerchuk helped me with social media. You have to be able to, when you have a brand, you got to be able to do different things, and you want to create revenue from as many different things as possible. We market on YouTube. I go, so why wouldn't my marketing was already on YouTube with this, and so the people that watch my food videos get retargeted with ads on that. I go, oh, that makes perfect sense. People that watch people eat junk food typically want to be in better shape most of the time, unless they're watching it just for the person with that. But there's a lot of people that just like to watch people eat junk food with it. And I was like, oh, I go, this is a very valuable thing. And my attitude on it changed really quickly.
And it's interesting watching a guy that's jacked and in great shape eat not good food. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think people, I try to stress to them, I go, this isn't the diet, you know, the 24/7. It's one meal a week. And then I try not to go too crazy because I've seen the people, and I did a few videos where I ate really large meals and I did not feel good after. And I go, I'm not gonna do the food challenges or like, because I think that is where your health can decline if you like eat 10,000 calories in one sitting of all the sodium. And so I just do my cheat meal. I'll do a burger or two or a pizza, like, or some tacos, but I'm not gonna fucking do 10,000 calories in one sitting or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I can't mass eat like that. Yeah, I'm a bigger guy, but I can't. Man, I look at other like skinny dudes that eat like that, like the Kobayashis and all those.
The Matt Stoney, I know exactly. Yeah.
Bro, I'm looking at them. I'm like, how does that fit in your stomach? Like, how? Like, I would throw up like 1/10 of what they eat.
Do you know those people though? They throw up after they do that.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
That's that. So I've learned different things now, not to say on every single one, but from what I've been told, because like I do the hot challenges and things too on the I didn't know that, like, this is why I got the people that do these really hot challenges, they throw up right after they do it also, so they don't have to digest the heat. So I didn't know that when I started though. Big dumb Ryback, I'm like, I'm a fucking man. I do the fucking challenge and I fucking digest it. And then I like almost died once and I go, wait, why didn't anybody smarten me up yet? You're fucking supposed to go puke. And they call it a different name. They call it, what's the fuck the name? They call it purging. To make it sound like, I go, no, it's fucking puking.
Sound better,
yeah. They're like, oh no, you need to purge after. I go, purge? What the fuck? You guys didn't have that in the fucking on the instruction manual.
I'm just picturing you like fucking being like, I'm gonna fucking down these chips.
I'm gonna down this tube of hot peanuts and let my fucking stomach process all of it. I don't know that all these other people are out there throwing up after. I'm drinking 20 bottles of water. Literally 6 hours of my life after I sat on a table, keeled over with the worst cramps of my life, as my body's like going into shivers and like just shaking uncontrollably.
But I'm picturing it, and it's so funny because I would do the same shit. I have that kind of like mental thing where I'm like, I'm doing it. I see other people do it. I can do it myself, you know?
Yeah. But those people that do those big, they go throw that up after. That's why they're not fat or anything. But that's so bad for you to do that. Like, that's not a healthy way to, like, you're eating all that junk and then throwing that up in your body. Like, oh.
Yeah, it has to be terrible for you. And these guys are not like, they don't look like they work out. They're not muscle guys. Like, you know, and I know like not everybody looks muscly that works out, but like I don't know, just the guy, Joey Chestnut, the guy who always wins. Like, he doesn't look like a guy that works out to me. You know?
I don't feel like he cares. Yeah. No, but there's levels to this. And I don't know about Chestnut per se. But these guys get so good at stretching out their stomachs from the mass quantities of food.
I did see that with the Yobiashi guy.
Yeah.
They did a documentary on him, and they showed how he preps his stomach from the day before to widen it. And
yeah.
It was like fascinating.
So it takes a lot of, so one, though, there's a genetic component that some people just have a natural ability to eat more than others. So these people have that for sure. And then the second thing is, though, they then have to work incredibly hard usually to, like, as far as like, it's like a professional essentially. They have to do this on certain occasions enough to where their body, and they can build up their tolerance to handling these large amounts of food and not puking right away, to where then they can get through whatever they need to get through, and then they can go throw it up later. And that's not to say that they haven't processed or digested some of them, but like,
say they all do it, but yes, that's a big thing in that industry.
You don't want it, but that's because from a health standpoint, all the sodium and like your body is just getting so, like, you're better off throwing it up than actually digesting it, even though throwing it up, but
your body's gonna go through like a sodium shock.
Yeah, and I had that happen on one of the videos. This is when I stopped. I did a McDonald's 30. I deleted the video so it doesn't exist anymore because I didn't want people fucking doing it. It was a McDonald's $3,500 challenge where it was like some guy, if he ate all this food, he would get $3,500, and it was like I don't know if it was like 4 20-piece chicken nuggets or 10. Like, it was all this food. It was so much McDonald's, and it was like 4 drinks and like my body was shaking uncontrollably during the video, and I just go, it ruined my whole day. Well, I was supposed to go on a date later on that night, and I did it early in the afternoon. I had to cancel the date. Like, I was done. Like, I was completely, I was sick the rest of the day. Like, I'm never again doing this.
That's crazy. I love how you have like I said, the Bree one was the first one I watched, and she was super cool, and it was cool, man. It was cool. But I have one question for you though, big guy. So why is wrestling so corny, man? Like now being back into wrestling, and like. I'm not saying the same thing. Like, I don't think all wrestlers are corny. I'm not saying that, right? And it's actually like really like now that I've thought about it and like how you've stepped away and like you don't do as many signings and like to me that just shows me like who you are like as a person.
Yeah.
Like I can't explain that to you in words, but I hope you understand what I mean. It's a good thing.
Yep.
Because like I've met so many wrestlers and they are the corny of corny. And I legit I like it just like I'm like, how can you be this way? Like, and fans like eat it up, bro. Like the fans eat it up, and I'm like, how do you not see they're just using you for money? You know what I mean? Like
there's levels to it. I think though there's a level. This is where I've been appreciative of being able to earn money outside of the business and doing what I'm doing, where I can stay true to myself but you could do them from time to time and enjoy the interaction and make money with that. And all that's great. But sometimes we see it with different people and it's not everybody, but there's just some, and that's their only way of earning income where they're kind of, they become, that is their sole source of income with it. Yeah. But it's just I don't know. And that's not a bad thing to have wrestling be your sole source of income, but it can just, it's whether how they came up and what they're around. And typically though, like with wrestling and what we see is if you're just a wrestler, and this isn't everyone, like I said, but if that's what you're doing, a lot of bad habits come with being a wrestler sometimes with like, where you're just like, you make money at whatever you're doing during the day at the signing or the event. And then like, it's a lot of like, it's drinking at night or doing pills or that's what it used to be even more so like, or like just bad habits in general that kind of come and like, you're in a lot of pain too. I don't know with it. Whereas like,
it's a business that's like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's a business that's very like it's for myself. I need to get to the top, and some people don't care how they get there, and I think that also feeds into their ego, and when they're not there. When they had a little run and then they go back down to where they were before, I don't know, maybe that has something like kind of effect on them as well, but
it very well can. And I can understand like, and that's something a lot of wrestlers and different things. And like that, if you're not doing other things to keep your name out there and whatnot, and like where you go through that and you have like you have your rise and a little bit of fame or a high level of fame. And then if you step away and you're not doing other things, and that can be where, and that goes down over time. And like with that, and then but a lot of people are afraid, and we see not everyone, a lot of wrestlers go and they get other jobs with it and they go do other things in life with that. And like, and that's what I'm doing and what other wrestlers, but I've seen a lot of fans, they shame wrestlers if they go get regular jobs, which is crazy. But brother, it's insane. I have people, I see it all the time. They're like, oh, you go be a fucking personal trainer. I'm like, yeah, personal trainers make fucking way more money than a lot of people with that. I would have no issue. But I'm like, I'm telling you, if I would say, guys, I'm giving up everything, I'm going to step away from social media. I'm just going to live a normal life and be a personal trainer or I'm this or that. I'm going to go get a job at the bank. They would there's people that would ridicule that and call me a loser for going. I'm just like, it's wild with this. But that's just the world we live in with people like that just like, because those people don't fucking work. They're like living at home in their basement or like, I don't know. It's crazy, but there's enough good. I'll tell you too. I talked to Zach the other day. He was supposed to talk yesterday, but he was traveling. Hopefully here this week we're able to thing, but we talked. So.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. That's great news.
I'm looking forward. He sent me over like his recent figure with Hawkins. It looks fucking great.
Bro, it's insane.
Yeah.
And like, the figures, I can't even explain it to you, but the figures that they've put out recently, they're so good, and they've gotten better every time they come out.
Yeah.
So,
No, I appreciate you. I think that's going to be a great. Like he seems genuinely excited, and as am I. Like I think it's like having my name now. Like this is something that wasn't possible before. So.
Bro, it's good. It's not only good that you get your figure of yourself because you should, but it's also good because you're going to be hitting another another source of fans that I don't think that you currently hit right now.
I agree.
And that is what's huge about it, And
yeah.
I think that there's a lot of people out there that love you and that knew you from when you wrestled, and that maybe they don't follow you right now, but that will that will spark that memory in their head, and then they'll start listening to your show and start watching your reviews, So
I think, and too, with your point, but like it too, because what happened is, and I could tell you, because what happened is me being away. And though in getting my health and doing what I'm doing, but being suppressed, but I haven't been around the business and wasn't around it for a period of years. And so when those lies are put out, what has happened is some people have chosen to believe the lies. And it's good for me when I interact with other people in the business and they see that like, oh, wait, he interacts with other people and other people like him. Then it kind of helps show that the lies that they've been pushed out, they realize are lies too.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the, like, they go, wait a second, all these other people like him and talk to him. Like, maybe we have been duped. And like, I think that's where it's like, but I've never like shut anybody out. It's just like, I was living my life, getting my health and everything. And I'm like, I'm doing my thing. And like, I just think it's, I just think, like I said, the truth always wins. It'll be very valuable in various ways.
For sure. And big guy, you're fucking smart as hell, man. Like I could just tell by talking to you and like the way you react to things. And you're funny. You're funny a lot of the time. But like, bro, you moved. You're in the best state for a single male guy.
No, by the way, no state taxes, which a lot of people. I moved home for wrestling because when you live in a state like California, I would not have the money I have if I lived in a state like that. So. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot.
Bro, I don't think people realize like they just see what's on the outside, I think, and they don't like, because the first thing I think it was like when I watched your review, I'm like, this guy's sitting in a fucking a nice ass car with a fucking hot model eating fucking KFC,
bro,
and she's hitting on him the whole time. Like,
I don't think people. It's a. By the way, and I get hate from the people that don't like me. They're like, and they want to call like the hot women sex workers. I'm like, not every hot woman is a sex worker, by the way. Yeah, but like, Jesus Christ, yeah. But people get mad because my thing. Here's where I'm going. Like my account, my stuff has been suppressed heavily. I go, you cannot suppress hot chicks. I go, if there's one thing, I go, every guy that all the wrestling, I go, I am living the American dream. I work for myself and I go, I get to go once a week, not only just go have a cheat meal and do whatever I want. Now I'm going to start just bringing on the hottest women. I know all the porn stars. I know all the hottest chicks in the world. I know fucking people. Like I've just been hurt and getting my health back and taking care of my family. Like I go, now I'm just going to I'm going to rub it in their fucking faces. I go, but I go, you can't, I go, what people watching? I go, eat a fucking cheeseburger or a fucking fried chicken sandwich in your fucking car. That's my first date with her. I'm taking her out on a hot date to KFC in my fucking car in Vegas, just fucking and just living the dream. You know how many guys want to get away doing that? Like,
forget about it. Forget about it. They love it. They love it. And that's what, like, when you said you said something important, and I'll let you go after this, but you said, what I listened to and I heard it, I was like, oh, you said you stayed away from the business purposely because you couldn't handle it. And like, and I don't mean like couldn't handle it, like you couldn't be around.
Or wait, Shawnee, you broke up on us. What was that? You cut out on us.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It cut out. You said, I heard you. The last thing you said is, you couldn't be around, or you didn't want to be around the business, something.
Yeah, like you didn't want to be around the business, and you chose to take yourself out of it, and you knew that, like, you knew with your personality that it would just, like, bother you constantly.
Yeah, no, I remember it was for my dog to keep.
You just took yourself out of that.
Yeah, well, that was when Sophie had her disc disease, and I was faced with the option of I could keep going on the road and making hundreds of thousands of dollars doing the things I was doing, or I had my business and I had my money. And sacrifice that to keep my dog alive. That provides me great love and happiness, and that the whole point of life is love and happiness. And so I kind of took a little bit of a chance going, I think I'm going to be all right, and I'd rather bet on that rather than give up on her and like. And I to like see like the hate and negativity that came out and people saying I got blackballed when it was the furthest thing from the truth. I'm like, what fucking world are we living in where like this is being shunned as like a bad thing of the decision I did? Like, it's fucking wild.
I'm just happy your dog's okay, big guy.
Me too, brother.
It's amazing to me how you know, I gotta go back. Is there any videos on that or anything like that I can go back and watch?
On Sophie?
Yeah, on your dog. Yeah.
I mean, brother, there's been so many through just like little things on the Instagram and things. You'd have to scroll back and like.
I'm gonna go back. Yeah.
I've always posted things and like, dude, she was paralyzed twice and we had to teach her how to walk twice and like.
Bro, that's crazy. And
yeah,
like, you had like the same back problems
at the same time. If I tell you the fact, if that would not have happened, I would have kept wrestling. My doctor did not want me wrestling anymore. I truly take this as a sign just from God, whatever you want to call it. It forced me to slow down, and that's when I actually started healing. So, and now we're both 100%, and it's like she's going to be 8th this November, and I just think it's a, not to give up all the time, and like even the doctors go, a lot of people would have put her down after the second one, but in my mind, I was so fucked up, and I remember I have to carry her. I still carry her to this day up and down stairs. I take her on walks in a stroller just so, even though she could walk, I like to protect her from other dogs so she doesn't get too excited. But like I was going through all these things and I hurt, like I could barely put my fucking boxers on in the morning. I couldn't even bend over. And like my dog had disc disease and I was having to carry her down. And I couldn't even take care of myself. But I was like, in my head though, I knew what she was going through. And like, I go, I'm not giving up. She's not going to give up. Cause like, she was just a little fighter. So it was like I bonded with her so strongly over this of like, we're gonna, like, in my head, I was like, we're both gonna get fucking better. And that's just how I chose to fucking, not to say that was gonna happen, but that was my mentality. And like that's why I stuck with her. And like she wasn't in pain after she'd get better. And then her disc would just rupture in her sleep. I'd wake up and she'd be in convulsions, shaking in the morning. Fuck, have to run her across town to go for emergency surgery. Like that happened multiple times. And like, so it's like, I was like, it's amazing
that you stuck with her. Most people would have given up. And
but it's a sign, like if she would have been in pain and you're suffering where it was like, the surgeries went well every time. And like just eventually all her back disc ruptured and then one of her neck ones. And then after that, knock on wood, I got her on really good supplements as well in her health. She eats real food and like, she's just been great. Like as if nothing ever happened, but it took a lot of time and it cost a lot of money too with it. But
I can't imagine, bro. I can't imagine with the vet bills.
But Trupanion was the pet insurance. Actually, it saved me. That it would have been much higher had I not had the pet insurance. But like I had to pay a lot of money still because they don't pay for everything. And it was, but that's part of the reason too. I try to like when we work hard and for financial freedom. And money's not evil. Money can allow us to protect and love and happiness for the things that we care about in a world that like, if we don't have it, we then become victims to the world and the circumstances that happen to us. And like, and not saying money solves all problems, but it can solve a lot of fucking things. And like, and so that's always been like my thing in motivating people. Like we live in a world where money is oxygen essentially, and we should never let it define us in any way. And we could be happy without it. But like without money, my dog would have been dead. Like, so like, and I love her more than anything. So it's just, I think we could do a lot of good with money. And if we have the right mindset.
I agree, big guy. Thanks for always having me on. I love talking to you, bro. And I hope you have a great week this week, man.
You too, Shawnee. Take care. Always great speaking to you.
Later.
Good deal. Thank you, brother. Always enjoy it. Greatly appreciate it. One more, we got a new member, a Rybacker here. Welcome, James Paynes. Welcome, newest Rybacker here. Thank you, everybody, with the super chats today on YouTube, and everybody here on Twitter. Always greatly appreciated. If you can leave an iTunes review, it always helps us out, guys, on iTunes on that. And please check out my Feed Me More Nutrition and all the Ryback merch, feedmemore.com. We've got the discounts in there for the new customers and the returning customers. RYBACK30 for new customers and returning customers, FEEDME20. Free shaker bottle with all orders, feedmemore.com. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow for another episode of the Ryback Show. I appreciate all of you all that called in on Twitter Spaces, and we'll be back around the same time tomorrow, Monday through Friday, as always, guys. Until next time, my friends, stay hungry. Feed me more.
Hey, Rybackers, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and shell shock those notifications. And for the best supplements on the planet with Feed Me More Nutrition and all the latest cool new Ryback merch, visit feedmemore.com.